Okay, so you're looking for a new Bluetooth speaker. You want something you can take to the beach, to the pool, or on a boat. But you've got that voice in the back of your head, right? The one that's scared you're going to drop your expensive new speaker in the water and watch it sink to the bottom. Or that one day at the beach, it's going to just jam itself full of sand and it's gonna be ruined forever. We've all been there. Well, this is the SoundCore Boom 3i, and it's a speaker that claims to be the answer to all those problems. By the end of this video, you will know exactly who this speaker is for, who it isn't for, and whether it's the right choice for you. We're gonna cover the design and its insane durability, but what you really want to stick around for is the sound quality, because one of them is amazing and the other is, well, you're gonna see. Stick with me and I promise you by the end we will answer the most important question. Is this actually worth your money? So first things first, let's talk about the build. SoundCore's whole marketing for this thing is built for the wild, and they are not kidding. It's made of this tough plastic and these chunky rubber bumpers on the sides that protect the passive radiators. And I've seen some people say it looks like a car tire ramp twisted around a plastic speaker, which honestly I can kind of see that. It's definitely function over form, but that function is where it gets impressive. This speaker has an IP68 rating. Now, you see a lot of speakers with an IPX7 rating, which is good for water, but the X means it has no rated protection against dust or sand. Let me further explain. That 6 in IP68 means this thing is completely sealed. You can take it to the beach and not worry about sand getting in and destroying the drivers. Then there's the 8 on the IP68, which stands for water. And this is where it gets a little crazy. Not only is it waterproof, but SoundCore claims it's 5 times more resistant to salt water than standard speakers, which is notoriously corrosive. Now on top of that, it has this feature they call industry first floating playback. So of course, I had to test it out. Unlike other speakers that might float face down when you throw it in the pool or in like a body of water, this one will always be floating up. So you can literally just throw this in the pool and have it play music while it's floating on water. It's amazing. Now in my testing, if a wave passes over it, the sound can get a bit garbled and muffled for a second as it spits the water out. So it's not pure magic in that sense, but the main benefit, it's huge. You're not going to lose this thing to the bottom of the lake. It will float up and you will find it, especially because it actually has LEDs on the side as well. Okay, so the performance as an outdoor speaker, it's clearly top notch, but none of that matters if this product is frustrating to use every day. And that brings us to the sound quality, which is the part of the review that will really determine if this is a smart buy or a pass for you. So when I first paired this speaker and played a song, my honest first impression was disappointment. So out of the box with its default SoundCore signature settings, the audio just sounds dark and muffled. It's lifeless. There's a real lack of treble clarity or treble in general. It's also a mono speaker. So you're only getting a single channel of audio, which can make the soundstage feel a bit lifeless. If you're wondering, when you're typically listening to like your AirPods or like music in general, you will be listening to it in stereo, which means the sound coming from the left and the sound coming from the right will be completely different. And that illusion makes the sound stage much wider and much more immersive. As opposed to this one, wherein if it's just mono and it's just a singular stream of sound coming towards you, you can really detect how narrow and thin everything just sounds like and feels like. So that's a big downside for me. But, and this is a huge but, this speaker has a secret weapon, which is the SoundCore app. And inside that app is a powerful, granular 9-band custom equalizer. I love it. I love how SoundCore just does that for all of its speakers and headphones. This is not an optional feature. It's mandatory for this speaker, because after about 5 minutes of tweaking the EQ, like boosting the trebles a little bit, adjusting the mids, and boosting the bass a little bit. Just catering it in general for how I would like for this thing to sound. The speaker just completely transformed. It goes from a muffled mess to a surprisingly powerful, clear, and punchy speaker, especially considering its size. It's the only way to unlock what this hardware is actually capable of. Now, beyond the build and the sound, there are a couple of other clever features. This sandproof design is paired with a feature in the app called Buzz Clean. You tap a button and the speaker plays a series of low-frequency sweeps that vibrates the drivers to literally shake out any sand or water droplets. It is actually so genuinely practical. It also has an emergency alarm that blasts a 96 decibel siren with flashing lights, turning this little speaker into a legitimate safety tool for, say, a hiker or a boater. Now let's talk about the battery life. SoundCore advertises 16 hours of playtime, but let's be honest, that's under the ideal lab conditions at very low volumes with the lights and bass boost probably off. Now, in my testing, using it how it's meant to be, which is for most of the time around 50% in my case, you could expect somewhere around a long afternoon of use. Not an all day or all night party type of usage, but it's very adequate, but not incredible. So after a week of using the SoundCore Boom 3i, here's the breakdown. The upsides are clear. The durability is best in class. The IP68 rating, the saltwater resistance, and the floating playback features, they provide real peace of mind. Those features alone can be such a compelling reason for you to get this, right? If you like hiking, if you like boating, if you like going outdoors and you want that extra cushion and peace of mind that just in case you need it, this might literally save your life. Also, once you download the app and update it to the latest firmware, and once you dial it in with the app, like adjust the equalizer, adjust the sound based on your own preference, it becomes an amazing speaker. It becomes a good sounding speaker. So the downsides are just as clear. The sound right of the box, it's poor. It's a mono-only speaker. The real-world battery life doesn't match the marketing claims, and the rugged look, it's not gonna be for everyone, especially for me. I'm not particularly fond of how this looks like, but I understand why they designed it like that. It's supposed to be an outdoor speaker, not something that you're gonna display inside your house. Which brings us back to the main question. Is it worth your money? At its full retail price of around $130, it's a tough sell against the competition. But here's the key. This speaker is almost always on sale for around $100. I personally purchased this for $110, and at that price, the conversation changes. For under $100, if you can get your hands on this, the compromises become way more forgivable. So here's my final answer. If you are an adventurer, a kayaker, a boater, a die-hard beachgoer, and you want a speaker you can abuse and use without a second thought, this is it. Also, at its sale price, this is a fantastic high-level value deal. It's a specialized tool that does its specific job of surviving the elements exceptionally well. But if you want great sound, the second you turn it on, if you need a true stereo soundstage from a single speaker, or if you're just looking for a versatile speaker to use both inside and out, there are more balanced options out there for you. Either way, that's been it. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Bye.